They'll never know. They'll never know what you gave up just to keep them safe. They'll never know the weight you carried while pretending to be fine. They'll never understand the silence you chose over explanation. And that's okay. They're not supposed to. Because what you did wasn't for applause. It wasn't for forgiveness. It was for peace. And peace never comes without pain. You learned that the hard way. You learned that strength doesn't come from pride, it comes from loss. That love doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes it looks like walking away. Sometimes it looks like becoming the villain in someone else's story, just so they can sleep peacefully at night. That's the kind of burden no one can see. The kind that eats you quietly. The kind that turns warmth into discipline and emotion into control. And over time, you stopped explaining yourself. You stopped seeking to be understood. Because people only see outcomes, not the sleepless nights that built them. They see your calmness and call it cold. They see your silence and call it distance. But what they don't see, it is what it cost you to be this calm. You've bled for balance. You've sacrificed connection for clarity. You've buried versions of yourself just to protect others from the storms you carry. You don't hate the world. You've just seen too much of it to ever look at it the same again. That's why your eyes changed. That's why your presence feels heavier now. Because you carry everything you never said and everything they'll never know. But understand this. Being misunderstood doesn't mean you were wrong. Being cold doesn't mean you stopped caring. It means you learned how dangerous it is to keep burning for people who only brought smoke. You walked through fire and came out without asking anyone to notice. You carried guilt that was never yours to begin with. You bore silence like armor, not because you wanted to, but because the truth would destroy the ones you loved. That's not weakness. That's power most will never comprehend. You became the shadow so others could stand in the light. You became the mask so others could sleep peacefully. You became the silence because the truth was too heavy for them to hold. And even now, you still carry that weight alone. Not for pity, not for praise, but because you chose purpose over peace, duty over desire, truth over comfort. And though they'll never thank you, and though your name will never be fully understood, your sacrifice will echo through time, in the people you protected, in the peace you built, and in the strength you left behind. Because real strength isn't loud. It's silent. It's steady. It's lonely. And it's unbreakable. So when they look at you now and say you've changed, they're right. You did. You had to. Because you've seen what love costs. You've seen what peace demands. And you've learned that some battles can only be won by losing everything you love. You didn't become cold. You became wise. You didn't stop feeling. You just stopped showing. And that's what they'll never understand. That's what they'll never know. That's what made you who you are. They'll never know what it cost you. What it took to keep standing. What you had to bury just to keep breathing. They'll never understand the choices you made. The nights you broke quietly. The mornings you rebuilt yourself piece by piece. The versions of you that had to die so something stronger could take their place. And maybe they're not meant to. Because not every pain deserves an audience. Not every scar needs to be explained. Not every battle should be remembered out loud. Some things are meant to stay between you. and the silence that created you. You see, the world loves to praise strength, but it never asks what strength costs. They love the light you give off, but they never ask how much darkness you had to walk through to find it. They love the calm in your eyes, but they'll never see the storms that shaped it. That's why you move differently now. That's why your energy feels heavier, because everything about you was built in places no one saw. And maybe that's why they'll never truly understand you, because you weren't shaped by comfort. You were shaped by loss, by responsibility, by silence, by truth that most people run from. There's a kind of clarity that only comes from watching everything you love fade away. There's a kind of peace that only exists after you stop expecting to be saved. And there's a kind of power that only grows in people who stopped waiting for someone to understand them. That's you. You didn't become cold because you wanted to. You became cold because the world taught you warmth could be used against you. Because empathy turned into weakness in the wrong hands. Because forgiveness was mistaken for permission. Because the more you gave, the more they took, until there was nothing left but resolve. And that resolve, that's what makes you dangerous now. You don't react the same anymore. You don't chase. You don't explain. You don't beg. You simply observe, decide, and move. Because you learned that silence is the most powerful weapon you have. It confuses the weak. It terrifies the fake. It protects the truth. But let's talk about the part no one likes to face, the sacrifice. You had to give up things you loved. People, dreams, parts of yourself you thought you'd never lose. And even now, when you think about it, a small part of you still aches. But pain is not your enemy anymore. It's your teacher. It's the proof that you're still human, even if you've learned to act like stone. You understand now that strength is not about smiling through everything. It's about walking through the fire, knowing it's going to hurt, and walking anyway. There are moments you wish someone saw the battles you fought in silence. Moments where you wish someone noticed how much it cost to stay kind. But that's not the world you live in. Because people don't truly see you until they need you. They don't hear your silence until it benefits them. They don't value your peace until you take it away. And when you finally choose yourself, they call you heartless. When you stop explaining, they call you distant. When you set boundaries, they call you cold. But let them. Because the truth is, you didn't become cold. You became clear. You stopped bleeding for people who kept opening your wounds. You stopped saving people who refused to swim. You stopped chasing validation from those who were never qualified to see your worth. You know what real maturity is? It's understanding that not every battle deserves your energy. Not every insult deserves your reaction. Not every person deserves access to you. Because peace is expensive. And after everything you've been through, you learned how to protect it. Now you choose silence over chaos, discipline over impulse, purpose over emotion. Because that's what evolution looks like. Not becoming colder, becoming exact. But let me tell you something. You didn't lose your heart. You just learned where to keep it. You didn't stop caring. You just stopped wasting care on people who never earned it. You didn't stop loving. You just started loving quietly without needing to prove it. That's real control. That's real strength. That's the kind of power the world can't touch. And still you keep walking. even when it's lonely, even when it's dark, even when your reflection feels like a stranger, because you've seen what happens when you stop. You've seen what happens when you let the pain win, and you refuse to go back there again. You walk forward not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You carry your scars not as shame, but as reminders. Every one of them is proof. You survived what was meant to destroy you. Understand something. The world will never clap for the sacrifices that save it. They'll never thank you for the nights you endured alone. They'll never see the quiet wars you fought to keep your soul alive. But that's fine. You didn't do it for them. You did it because you had to. Because you were chosen by pain to become what others couldn't. Because someone had to bear the weight, and you were strong enough to lift it. So don't expect understanding. Don't chase recognition. You're not here to be seen. You're here to endure. And through endurance, you will find mastery. Mastery of emotion. Mastery of purpose. Mastery of peace. Because the real victory isn't destroying others. It's mastering yourself so deeply that no one can ever destroy your center again. That's what it means to walk through darkness and come out calm. That's what it means to lose everything and still keep your integrity. That's what it means to be cold, not from hatred, but from understanding. People will talk. They'll judge what they can't comprehend. They'll label what they'll never survive. Let them. Because you've already learned. Noise can't reach those who live in silence. Weak minds can't touch those who've made peace with solitude. And no one can take from you what you already buried to protect your peace. So walk alone if you must. In the quiet. In the cold. With eyes that see too much. And a heart that feels too deep. Because that's where the real ones live. That's where truth breathes. That's where peace is earned, not given. And one day, when they finally look your way, when they see how far you've come, when they realize you never needed applause to rise, they'll understand. They'll understand that your silence wasn't emptiness. It was power. It was purpose. It was the echo of every sacrifice they never saw. And that's what made you different. And that's what made you strong. That's what made you cold. Not from hate, but from healing. So keep walking. Keep carrying the weight they'll never see. Keep building in the dark. Because you are living proof that silence can become strength, that loss can become power, and that those who walk alone often end up leading everyone else. You learn something that most never will, that true strength isn't about power. It's about restraint. It's about knowing you could destroy everything around you and choosing not to. Because control, that's the sharpest weapon of all. You've mastered it. The art of silence. The art of walking away. The art of letting pain mold you instead of break you. Every scar, every night spent staring at the ceiling in silence. They weren't punishments. They were lessons. Reminders that emotion without discipline is just destruction waiting for direction. And you found direction in the dark. When everyone else begged for light, you sat with the shadows until they spoke to you. You didn't escape your pain, you studied it. You learned its language, its rhythm, its truth. That's why you move differently now. Because pain doesn't control you anymore. You control it. And that terrifies people. They can't understand how someone can walk through fire and not scream. How someone can lose everything and still stand tall. How someone can be calm while everything around them burns. But you understand. Because once you've seen how fragile everything truly is, you stop clinging to things that were never yours to keep. You stop begging for peace. You build it. You stop seeking understanding. You become it. You no longer fight for validation. You fight for alignment. You fight to keep your soul clean in a world that profits from chaos. And when they call you emotionless, you just smile, because they mistake your stillness for emptiness. They don't know that silence is where your power hides, that beneath your calm exterior lives a storm that could end everything, but chooses not to. That's the difference between you and them. They seek to be seen. You seek to see. They chase noise. You walk with purpose. They want attention. You want truth. And truth is heavy. That's why most run from it. But not you. You carry it like a blade. You sharpen it with solitude. You keep it close because you know the moment you lie to yourself and everything collapses. So you walk with truth, even when it hurts. You stand alone, even when it's quiet. You forgive silently, even when it's undeserved. Not because you're weak, but because peace is a battlefield you've already conquered. You don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You don't need to prove anything anymore. Your existence, your calmness, is the proof. Proof that pain can create discipline, that loss can create depth, that silence can create strength. And maybe one day the world will see what you see. Maybe they'll realize that the ones who walked alone were never lost, they were just too far ahead. But until that day, you keep walking. Through the dark, through the noise, through the misunderstanding. Because your path was never meant to be understood. It was meant to be walked. And when the time comes, when the weight finally becomes too heavy to carry, you'll smile. Because you'll know you carried it as far as you could. You did your part. You gave everything. And you never let the darkness turn you cruel. That's the victory no one will ever see. But you'll feel it in your bones. The quiet satisfaction of knowing you didn't need the world to understand you, to become unshakable. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them misunderstand everything you are, because what they call cold is actually peace. What they call distance is protection. What they call darkness is truth. And truth has always lived in the dark.